Good evening, everybody. We're so happy that you could join us for Simi Valley Unified's final workshop for College Week. And today you're in for a real treat because we have Brittany Hong from Cal State Channel Islands here to lead us, going over the Cal State application process. So again, thank you all for being here. I'm going to go through, I'm Mrs. Cuneo, by the way, the College and Career Counselor at Royal. And I also, of course, want to give a shout out to my counterparts, Alfonso Ruiz at Simi Valley High School and Haley Estrada at Santa Susana High School, because we have all been busy planning this college week for everyone. And we're just really happy to be able to provide these resources for everybody. A few housekeeping items before I give it to Brittany. Please know that this webinar is being recorded. The video will be on the district website, simivalleyusd.org, under parent workshops when the recording is ready. So keep an eye out for those. This is a webinar format, so we cannot see or hear you once we begin. Your secrets are safe. We will have plenty of time for questions at the end of the presentation. You can write your questions in the Q&A section, which is what we prefer, and we will share them in the answers with the group at the end. Please don't use the raise hand feature. We can't interrupt the program to answer a raised hand. So it's a little bit different than Zoom if you're used to that. Again, thank you all for being here, and Brittany, take it away.
Thank you, Laura, Mrs. Cuneo. I appreciate it. I'm excited to be here for College Week for Simi Valley Unified. And it always is so close to my heart because I used to work at Royal High School in the College and Career Center. And I'm excited to be able to help students apply to a California State University. There are 23 campuses. So there's a lot of different options for you and a lot of different programs. And so I want to make sure I do answer all your questions this evening as we're going through. So, at the end, as we're going through questions, feel free to ask anything. And if I don't know about a certain program at a certain CSU, I will definitely get you that information. But what I'll do is I'm going to start sharing my screen so we could get to the application part. And if you want to kind of follow along and open up the application with me, you're more than welcome to do that. Or if you just want to take notes, that's fine also. And as she mentioned earlier, this will be recorded, so you can, come back to it later. But we're going to kind of start from where the first part goes. And let's see, the screen is going to be loading soon. And it looks like it should be up now. Okay. So this is how I get to the application. I go really complicated methods. No, actually, I just Google it. So what I like to do is just Google Cal State apply, or you can Google, Cal State application, CSU application, literally, how do I apply to Cal State? Anything, that's going to get you to this first link here is typically it. And it says Cal State apply. This is where the application is held. So as you may or may not know, with the 23 Cal States, there's only one application. So you're only going to fill out the application once, and then I will show you in the application where we can apply to multiple CSUs. So I might want to apply to 4 CSUs. And so I don't have to fill out the application 4 times, only once, and then we'll pick those 4 CSUs. So I click on it, and it's loading slower than I want it to, but here it comes. And so there's this nice guy here who looks like he's enjoying college. And we're going to scroll down, and then it says to select the term that you're applying for. So what I want to show you is that you're going to see here fall, spring, winter, summer. That's because each CSU has different terms that you can apply for. So for CSU Channel Islands, we admit for fall and spring. So students can choose which term they want to apply for. Now, if you're coming straight from high school, we only admit students in the fall. But if you decide to go to a community college like Moorpark College, you can then transfer either in the spring or the fall. So for today's purposes, we're going to put fall 2024. But I just wanted you to know that as you're looking at this and you see different terms, that each CSU can admit for different terms of the year. And then I'm going to hit apply. Now, I already have created an account, so I'm just going to log into my account. But you would create an account here if you have not ever created one yet. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sign in, and then I'm going to take you to where, if I was to press create account, where it would take me. And what that is it's the create an account takes you to what is called your extended profile. And so as we're looking through this, it's going to ask me questions on what kind of degree am I seeking. And what we're going to do is, as we're going through this, I'm going to hit the parts that people make the most mistakes on. Okay. And that way we can kind of just clear it up now. And some parts I won't go over because it's confidential. It's and I want to make sure that, you know, we're not talking about parts that maybe you can answer at home on your own. So the degree, everyone is seeking a first bachelor's degree. We are not seeking a second one. We are just on our first one. So we're going to want to go ahead and put first bachelor's degree. And then the second part of this can get a little confusing for our dual enrollment students. So sometimes we have dual enrollment students who are graduating high school and actually graduating with an associate's degree as well from a community college. It doesn't happen often, but sometimes there's someone out there. Or sometimes a student just has like a couple classes of dual enrollment, and that's perfectly fine. Everyone, no matter what your status is, no matter how many college units you have, 100, which I don't think that's possible, or 2, everyone is going to put graduating high school senior. So the reason why is because we see errors here, because if you select any of the other 2 options, you will be telling the university that you are transferring, and that is not what you're doing. Even if you have an associate's degree, you are not transferring. And this is a very important part here that both the CSU and the UCs are together on, is that if a student says that they are transferring, then they are missing out on all these first-time freshman resources. And they won't get into the housing, they won't get into certain resources, financial aid and things like that. So really, you want to make sure that you put that you're a graduating high school senior, no matter how many college credits you've taken. Now it's going to ask me, have you earned college credit? And you can put yes or no. I put yes in here. And then as far as the military goes, sometimes, you know, a lot of people are like, no, I haven't served in the military. But when I was at Royal High School, I did have a senior who was actually already in the National Guard her senior year because she had turned 18 early. So that can happen. And you just select the one that is best for you. And as far as an international applicant goes, you'll just answer this. And Laura, is my internet still okay? Oh, let's see here. Am I back now?
It looks like it's on.
Oh, are we good?
Well, I can
Okay,
hear you.
we're good. Okay. It said internet connection unstable, and I wanted to make sure I didn't like keep talking. Okay.
You're
And
back.
so what we'll do is, since everybody is graduating from Royal, Simi Valley, or Santa Susana, you're gonna put your state as you regard your permanent home as California. So even if your family has another house in another state, or your parents are in Mexico, or whatever the case may be, this state that we are going to put as our permanent home is California, because we are graduating high school in California. Okay. And I had a question in that I don't mind answering now about how do we know which CSU is which term each CSU is applying for. And we're going to look at that when we look at the programs. So that will be coming up. And that's pretty much it, I would say, for as far as this part on the extended profile. The My Data and things like that is pretty self-explanatory, and there's some confidential things in there. So what we're going to do is we're going to go next to My Application. And what we'll do here is you're going to see that there are 4 parts to the application. There's a personal information, there's academic history, there's supporting information, and there are program materials. And at the top, I like to call it like the secret 5th one, is right here, add a program. And this is where we're going to see which programs we are admitting for the fall. Okay. Now, this is what the CSU does. It starts with Bakersfield because it's in alphabetical order, and all 23 Cal States are here in all of their majors. So that's a lot to roll through. So instead, let's just select filters, that big blue button over there. And then we're going to select campus. And we are going to go through all 23 campuses. You're also going to see some other options here. Here's a start term. Right now, we've only are doing fall because we went into a fall application. If we look at delivery, this is talking about face-to-face, hybrid, or online. I don't recommend selecting that at first, because that could limit, and some of the majors could be hybrid, even though they don't necessarily say hybrid. So, and then the other down here, source. It says campus or extended education. So let's talk about that. So we all know that the Cal State system is the public school of California, which means that the tuition is being partially funded from the state of California in order to keep the tuition at a low cost. Now, extended education means that there are some programs at each CSU that are not funded by the state of California, and they have their own tuition. And so that tuition can be higher. And so like we will look at Cal State Channel Islands because I'll show you what ours are. And so what you're going to do is just select one Cal State at a time as you're applying. I don't recommend selecting multiple because then it's going to show all the majors for each one and you may miss one. So let's just do one at a time. So we'll do Cal State Channel Islands. And what we're going to do is at the top here, it's going to say Channel Islands undergraduate, and then it's going to show all the programs here. And a couple things that you may think about is, and I'm going to get to the bottom here because it's all in alphabetical order, is you're going to look at this and you're going to go, well, my child wants to apply to nursing. And if we go in alphabetical order, we can see that there is no nursing here. And so it's like, where did nursing go? Well, the thing is that the nursing program is something that you apply to later. And so what you are going to select is undeclared health professionals. This is for nursing. This can be for physical therapy, occupational therapy, and anything like that. So what I recommend is if you don't know what program you should be applying for, definitely you can, when you click on these, they should be able to give you some program description, some information about it, and it will give you on each one. Another common one for nursing is health science. So you might want to select that one. But either way, you'll get to nursing one way or another. And then you're going to see that there are some other programs in here for other majors. And what I want to show you is that we are going to now switch over to Cal Poly SLO. And we're going to look at their programs. Okay, so they've got all their programs here, and I'm going to scroll all the way down to the bottom because you're going to notice a difference. Their last one, a fun one for the parents, wine and viticulture, but there is no undeclared. Okay, and so that can be the tricky thing, is that some Cal States do not have an undeclared option. So if you were to apply to Cal Poly San Luis Obispo, you would have to declare a major now. Okay, so as you're looking through these, like I said, feel free to click on the names, get more information about it. Sometimes it'll take you to some other links on here, things like that. It'll tell you the delivery format there. And just because it says face-to-face, it doesn't necessarily mean that all courses are face-to-face. Our psychology program can be done completely online or completely in person, or online and in person. Our business school is the same. You can do it online, you could do it in person, or you can do a hybrid of the two, but it's not necessarily going to say that here. So I know that that can be confusing, but I just encourage you to click on a major and kind of look into it and see what they're talking about. And if all else fails, just contact their admissions office. And so when I want to select an option here, so maybe I select psychology, I'll click the plus sign. And what it's going to do is it's going to add it to my application. And then once I'm done adding it, I'm going to go back to Cal State Channel Islands and add a major there as well. Let's see here. Where did my little problem? It's looking, there it is. Okay. This can happen sometimes. It says this program requires you to choose an alternate in case you are not, chosen for psychology. I highly, highly recommend that you choose an alternate, because no is the first answer on here. Most people will select no, but you want to select yes. And the reason why I say that is because if you are not admitted to psychology, so say you apply to psychology for Cal Poly SLO and they say, no, you are not admitted to psychology, they can still admit you to your second major, your alternate program. So you'll select yes, and then you'll select another program besides psychology. And maybe that's sociology, maybe that's communications, maybe that's biology. It could be, anything that you want to put. We'll just put biological sciences. And then down here, just be careful because it says I am not interested in an alternate program. A lot of people will just click that when they just said, yes, I am. And then you will hit save this choice. And so now my choices are saved. So moral of the story here on the programs, you may need to do a little bit of research. If you're definitely like a biology major or an engineering major, anything like that, definitely do your research into the programs that you want, that you think that you're interested in, because there can be like 10 different biology programs, and you want to make sure that you're applying to the correct biology program. And sometimes for the business schools, they have different business emphasis. So it could be business entrepreneurship, it could be business accounting, it could be business management, and you want to just make sure that you are applying to the correct one. So now that we're here, we're going to go back to the application. So we've got, we chose a program. And when we go back to our application, we now have these 4 quadrants we want to fill out. Now I've already started filling out a little bit of them. So you're going to see that it's green and it's partly, going. But what we want is we want a big green all the way around. This whole quadrant's going to be green. There'll be a green check mark, and that means it's completely done. So what we're going to do is we're going to go through the personal information and just the parts that maybe give a little hiccups. So I'll start here. All right. So your name. Okay. So you're going to put, what your legal name is. And then it says, do you have any materials under a formal legal name? Okay. And here's the deal with your legal name. If my last name was Gonzalez Hong, I would need to put both. I would need to put Brittany Gonzalez Hong. How I put it here is just Brittany Hong would be incorrect. And the reason why is because you want all your documents to match. So you want your financial aid to match, you want your degree to match, you want your coursework to match, everything. So if you have 2 last names or you have 2 first names, make sure you put all names in there. Maybe you're a junior, but you don't ever use it. Make sure to put junior. And then what happens sometimes is you change your name. Sometimes, students are adopted and they get a different last name, or just an FYI, anyone can apply to Cal State at any age. So sometimes married individuals are going to apply and they have a different former legal name. And in that case, you would put yes, and you would answer what that former name is. But we have a lot of students who get adopted, between elementary school and high school. And so, previous school, what am I trying to say here? Profiles were under one name. And then, later they have a different name. So if you have a formal legal name, it's not a problem. You're just going to enter it here. And then would you like to share a different first name that people call you? I see this a lot as people usually use their middle name sometimes. And so if you do use your middle name, then you can put yes and put that in there. And let me just look at, just make sure you are going through these questions because they do ask like very sensitive information. So you want to make sure that you put yes or no accordingly. And all of this information is confidential. It will just go to the university that you are applying to, and it's more for that you get the resources that you need. Okay. And so that way, if you need assistance while you're in college, you're going to be able to receive that. And that's pretty much it for the biographic information. The next one that kind of comes up sometimes is your citizenship or residency. And so what we do is when we clicked on here is if you were born in the United States or you became a US citizen, then you will select the US citizen. And then there's a permanent resident or green card, a refugee. I currently am speaking with a refugee right now from Russia in the Ukraine area. So there definitely are students that can be under that status, or you could have some type of visa. And if you don't have any of these, then you're just none, and that is perfectly fine. Okay. on there, it's going to ask which country of citizenship you came from, and then it will ask which year did you move to the United States. Again, this information is confidential to the Cal State, so it is not being shared with anyone else. And so you just want to answer this as accurately as possible. And then let me go back here for a second. If you have a permanent resident card or a green card, it is going to ask for the date that it was issued. And since we already had talked about you're graduating from a California high school, you always claim California residency. Okay. Now, okay, I haven't always lived here since birth, so I'll put no, and then I'll say when I started coming to California. It does want a month, date, and year, so you might need to ask a parent, when did we get to California? I remember it in 5th grade, but I don't remember what month or day. So make sure that you are filling that out. But this is so important because this is how the CSU is going to charge you tuition. So if you have a permanent resident card and you're like, oh, but my family came from Europe. So, and you get to this question about, do you claim California residency, and you get confused and you put no, then we're going to charge you out of state or international fees. And you went to a California high school and you graduated from California high school. So press yes for California residency. So that way we charge you in state and we don't charge you out of state or international. And sometimes even students have lived here their whole life, and for some reason they put no here. They might have just been going through it quickly, and then later you had to fix it. So other questions on here that can be tricky. Let's see here. Let's get to parent guardian. Let's add. I'm just seeing if there's anything on here. Down here, the authorization. So how the CSU uses the authorization. So you have an email address, contact information for your parent or guardian, and you put a phone number, which is typically a mobile. And then you can say, do you give permission for the admission office to communicate? And you can put yes. The only communication we will do with your parent is through email or text message. And it's normally just about financial aid, a scholarship, a program, like a certain program we don't want you to miss out on, that sometimes students don't check their emails and we don't want them to miss out on that. So we tell your parent or guardian, but that is it. We cannot discuss any information with your parent or guardian regarding your application, your admissions decision, or your coursework, your grades, an appeal, anything. We can only share with your parent, like, something that has to do with like a don't miss the scholarship opportunity. Okay. If you want your parent to have access to all your school information, there is a form at every single Cal State university that you will fill out saying that it is okay for your parent to have access to your information. But once you graduate from high school, in fact, actually, once you apply to a Cal State and you're admitted, at that point, your parents do not have access to that information. But if you call our admissions office and your parent's on the phone, that's perfectly fine. Or if you send us an email and your parent's in the email, that's perfectly fine. We just have to make sure that you're in the conversation as well. And then let's go to the financial and parental information, because this can get confusing. So you want to look through each one of these bullet points and decide, none apply to me, or at least one applies to me. Okay, so we'll click on the none apply to me. And what happens is it's then asking for like the size of your household. Okay, so you're going to look at your house that you live in, and you have to include yourself, your parents or guardians, and anyone else in the house. Now, here's the deal. My parents are divorced. I spend, 1 week at one parent, I spend the next week at another parent's. Okay, so which parent do I put in here? Well, technically, you're going to put the parent that they say is responsible, or not even responsible. Actually, they say that pays 51% of the money for you. And I know that sounds really weird. But the person who contributes the most amount of money, that's the household you put in. 51%. So even if things are like straight down the middle, and if it is exactly 50-50, then I guess just pick one. And what will happen down here is now you're going to put in that income information for that household. So for your parents. And you'll see that this is for the year 2022. And so what your parents are looking for is, and maybe you just have one parent. So your parent said, oh, you know, I made last year $67,000. And then you get to untaxed income and benefits, and you and your parent are like, I have no clue what this means. And so I think it's just asking the same question again. And so they put the same answer twice. And so now what you did was you told the application that your parent actually receives double the amount. So do not be surprised if this number is 0. Okay. And if you're still like, you know, a little confused on what untaxed income is and benefits, you can click here on this link here, this blue link that says click here, and it will tell you exactly what it is. Most questions that get tricky, even here about your household parent size, there's a click here, and it will give you more information so that way you can choose the right answer for you. Now, it will ask if you're interested in living on campus or not, and then it's going to ask for an education level. Now, this entire thing right here, this household income and size information, this whole entire financial and parental information, it's not your financial aid, okay? It's what it's doing is it's after, excuse me, after you answer all these questions, the application is going to decide if you get a fee waiver, and that's what these questions are for, okay? And there's an algorithm for that fee waiver, so I can't exactly tell you what it is because it's going based off of how you answer each question. And so when you apply to a Cal State University, it is $70 per university. So if you were to apply to Cal State Channel Islands, it'd be $70. If you were to apply to Cal State Northridge, it'd be $70. If you apply to both of us, that's $140. So these questions here are asking so that the application can determine to waive those fees. So you do not pay the $70. If you do get a fee waiver, the application gives you 4 fee waivers. So they're not giving you just one, they will give you 4 of them. So that's why you definitely do want to make sure that you're answering these correctly, because this is literally the one tab on the whole application that is your fee waiver. If you were in foster care at some point, and it even says on here, like, let's see here. At the time, since you were 13, wait, where was it? Yeah, if you're homeless, unaccompanied youth, that risk of being homeless, that's even foster, things like that. You can put one or the more above statements apply to me. And then what it's going to do is it's going to create you as an independent status, and it's going to say your household size. So remember earlier I said even old people can apply to a Cal State who have been married, have kids, things like that. So you're, you know, in high school and you're like, I don't have a spouse, I don't have kids, maybe it's just me. So this number can be 1, which is just you. Okay. This number here for living children that are dependent upon you can be 0. You're like, I didn't work, I was in high school. This can be a 0. Untaxed income can be a 0. So I just say this in that don't be afraid to put a 0 if that's actually like what that is. Okay. So that's pretty much a lot of the hiccups that happen on the application here. And let's just talk about one last thing on the fee waiver and we'll move on. So I get all the time that, you know, hey, in 2022, both of my parents had jobs, and then my parent lost their job, or my parent went on disability, they got hurt, something happened. Okay. And so now our income is not the same as it used to be. If that is the case, you can contact each individual Cal State University and request for a fee waiver. And so like for us, they email us admissions, and then they say, you know, our situation has changed. I'm not getting a fee waiver on the application because our situation has changed. So we will send you a form to fill out. You submit that form, and then we review it and we can grant you a fee waiver. Now, when we grant you the fee waiver, it is only for Cal State Channel Islands. So if you want to apply to Northridge, you would need to contact Northridge as well and ask them for their fee waiver. Okay. And so then you would submit to both, and both institutions can choose to give you a fee waiver. All right. So let's go to academic history. This is the bulk of the application. Okay. So we have high schools attended. All right. And so I put 2 different high schools that I went to. And you're going to notice on here that one high school I went to, it says full year, and one high school says semester. Okay. Here's how you know which one you are. And I'll just tell you, Simi Valley Unified is always going to be semester. Okay. If you accidentally put semester and then you change it to quarter, trimester, something like that, this little warning is going to come up and we can just hit continue. Okay. And now it says that my high school is a semester system. So a semester system just means that if I took English in 9th grade, I got 2 grades. I got an A and I got a B. And if, I took science and I got 2 grades. So sometimes, they'll be like, well, I took my English 9 all in one semester in the fall semester. So I'm not going to choose semester, but that's not it. So I don't want to dig deep into this because I already know that if you go to school in Simi Valley Unified, it is semester. So just make sure that at the bottom here, you are selecting semester, no matter how you took the course. The only time that this can become funky is if you went to school somewhere else out of state or a different school, and then you transferred to a Simi Valley Unified, and maybe at that different school, it was something else. And what it means as far as full year means that if I took English in 9th grade, I only got 1 grade and it was an A and there were no other grades. And that's what it means by full year. If I were to put quarter system, it would be expecting 4 grades for my English class. But we don't have quarter system around here, so don't really see that often. And trimester, it'd be expecting 3 grades for an English class. All right, academic information, really quick and easy question there. And then colleges attended. So I took a dual enrollment class at Moorpark College and I took a dual enrollment class at Oxnard College. I have to put both, okay? I have to add Moorpark College and I have to add Oxnard College. And you're like, well, I might take another dual enrollment class in the spring. I'm not for sure. Then when you are putting these colleges in, you'll see it still says still attending. So when I come down here, I want to click this button that says, yeah, I started in spring of 2021, but I'm still attending this college because I might take another dual enrollment class in spring. As far as this up here, I put in Moorpark College. I'm not obtaining a degree from there. All of our community colleges are semester-based. So all you have to do is semester, same as Simi Valley Unified. And as far as the tuition, you're not paying tuition. So you can put not applicable because the community college dual enrollment classes are not charging you tuition. Now let's get into the high school coursework. Okay, so this is where you want to have, your areas up or have a copy of your transcript. And you're literally going to go through every single class from 9th grade all the way through senior year. And what we'll do is, I already started like a 12th grade. It doesn't matter which order you go in. If you want to start in 12th grade, go down to 9th grade. If you want to start in 9th grade, go up to 12th grade. And what we're going to do is we're going to start putting in classes based off of our transcript. But what I'm going to do first is let's find Royal High School. Let's see here. Or do I have to put Simi Valley? Yeah, Simi Valley. Okay. All right, so I put schools in Simi Valley. You're going to see all these schools populate up. I'm going to use Royal High School as my example here. I started there. Oh, when was that? 2019? Is that 4 years ago? Was that freshman year? Make sure you put in the right dates here. And then I graduate in May of 2024. Okay, the term type is semester, and I save this school. So now when I go to my high school coursework, I am going to delete this just so we can start with a fresh blank. So I'm going to do 9th grade, and then I'm going to do Rio Mesa. Now, one thing you saw in here is 7th and 8th grade. Okay, if you took Spanish or a math course such as Algebra 1 or Geometry in 7th or 8th grade, you can include those. And it will talk, it's just talking about 7th grade matching. But If you took Algebra 1 in 8th grade and you didn't put it in here, that's okay also, but you're more than welcome to put it in here. And so now I'm like, well, where's my middle school? Well, it's not going to go off your middle school. It's going to go off your high school. So you'll put Royal High School, even though you went to a different middle school. And then you'll put the freshman year and you'll hit the green check mark. The biggest thing is to put your courses in, you'll have to hit that green check mark at the end. So in 8th grade, I took Algebra 1. So I'm going to start typing in algebra. There it is, Algebra 1. The course type is already in there, none, which is fine. And the grade I got was a B+ and a B. And then I hit the green check mark. Now that was the only class I took in 8th grade. So now I'm going to go to 9th grade. And I was at Royal High School and green check mark. And then, you know, I took English. So, oh, there's English 9. Perfect. My grades that I got in the class and the green check mark. Now I took AP Human Geography. So I'm going to start typing. Oh, there it is. AP Human Geography. And then my grades that I got in that class. Okay. And then I was looking for, I took a biology class and I type it all in and I don't know. And for some reason I put CP and no results are found. Okay. If you cannot find a course, do not type it in. Go ask your college and career counselor. Most likely what the issue is that the class is saved under something else and you just typed in too many letters. So it might just be on your transcript, it says biology CP, but really it's just biology. Okay. And then I put in my grades. We don't want to manually enter in a course because that can disrupt our 8th or G matching. So you're going to do this for 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th grade. Okay. So let's just add 12th grade real quick. Are we getting some questions in the chat about this? Sure, this is always a fun part here. And so what we're going to do is for 12th grade, I am currently in, let's just put in English for right now. And I'm looking for, let's see here. We'll just put English IB. Okay. Now I'm currently in the class, so it's in progress. And then it's planned for the spring. Okay. Now I'm taking government right now. I'm taking an AP. I'm in progress for government, but it's only 1 semester. So I put no course for the 2nd semester. And then I'm going to take economics. And I'm taking that 2nd semester. So I'm going to put no course for the 1st semester. And I'm going to put planned for the 2nd semester. And that's how senior year goes. And if you want to take a screenshot of this, I highly recommend it just to remind you later what it looks like when you're taking a course in senior year that's in progress and planned, and a course that's only in progress for 1 semester or planned for 1 semester and is a no course for the other. So let's look at, yep, we're going to talk about the Moorpark College. Yep, the Algebra 1 in 8th grade, we answered that. You'll put Algebra 1, 8th grade. Okay. Yes, summer. Perfect. Let's go down here. Add a grade level. Oh, wait, sorry. Delete this. Add summer courses. Okay. If you took a summer course, oh, and there it is right there. Trying to get over that. If you took a summer course between 9th grade and 10th grade, the summer grade level should be set to 10th grade. So your summer is the summer after. So summer after 11th grade is 12th grade summer. So, and then you can choose from here which summer it was, and you can add that summer school class. So that's a great question there. Algebra 1, we saw that in 8th grade. We put it here, the Algebra 1. Now here's the deal. Sometimes people don't know what they got in Algebra 1 8th grade, okay? You don't technically have to put the 8th grade Algebra 1 here. Maybe it's not on your transcript. What will happen is in 9th grade, you're going to put geometry. Okay. We'll put some grades in here. And then in 10th grade, I'm just going to put it in 12th grade for right now. We're going to do Algebra 2. Okay. Put some grades in here. This Algebra 2 course tells the application that you passed Algebra 1. So even if Algebra 1, like you're like, I don't know what grade I got. I don't have access to that. I can't see it. It's not on there. You don't have to have it under 8th grade because your Algebra 2 course is going to tell us that you passed Algebra 1 because you can't take Algebra 2 without passing Algebra 1. So, all right. So we answered that one live. We answered the summer grade. Perfect. Okay. So you went to different schools, right? In the summer, you might have took, what used to be called Opportunities for Learning is now Options for Youth. You might have took a course there during the summer. You might have done BYU's, summer courses. You might have done like a recovery class through the BYU high school courses. Someone else talked about another school that they went to. And so sometimes those classes may not come up, right? And if you did go to a school, and let's just add this Benicia High School, okay? And I went there in 10th grade or something, all right? And then I took, I don't know, I took a chemistry class. But for whatever reason, that chemistry that I took is not populating up. It was like this special, I'll just put special. Special chemistry. You're going to see it doesn't come up. If you cannot absolutely find the course that you took at the school that you went to, then you can manually write it in. And then I'll just go to the next one. I'll hit none and I'll put my grades. And I'm going to show you what you're going to have to do with that special chemistry class. Okay. So for the parent who asked about their student went to another school and the courses aren't showing up, yes, you can manually enter them in, but there's a second step we have to do. So first step is this. So I will show you that in just a second. Just going to see. So if I failed a class, and I failed Algebra 1, or let's just pick this biology class. I failed one semester. I failed the fall semester of biology. And then I retook it in summer. You will, let's edit this. I got a D in this, which is not passing because we need C's or higher. And then I took in 10th grade summer. Oh, and I don't think I picked this summer school class. Oops, let's add summer. Pick the year, 10th grade. And then we come up, where is it? And we pick biology. You might have took Apex biology. That's a common one for the summer. Just whatever biology you took in the summer. And then it was the first semester that I got a D in, but then I passed with a B and I only retook that one semester. So I'm going to put no course and I'm going to put it in there. So now what's going to do is this B in this biology class is going to repeat the D in biology. Okay. So that is how you would enter if you did like a credit recovery course. Yes, for the Royal IB Theory of Knowledge, yes, absolutely. You would only put it for the one semester. So you'd put no course in the semester that you did not take it in. And you would put IB Theory of Knowledge in junior year, and you would put IB Theory of Knowledge in senior year. Yes, you do report the low grade, even though you took it for credit recovery. The university is going to see that you repeated the course. And then we're going to get to Moorpark College classes right now. So let's go to those dual enrollment classes we talked about taking. So college coursework. It's going to look very similar to what we kind of just did for the high school coursework. And I already put some in here, like I took a bio or a developmental psychology. And so now here's the tricky part is you're like freshman. What does this mean? Okay, if you look here for academic status, you're taking it in high school, just put freshman status, that's fine. It's going to ask you, did you complete these courses or are they in progress? Okay, I took this class, last year. So yes, it is completed. I do have a grade for it. And most likely, most of your dual enrollment classes you took could be like communications. So it could be this COM M01, which is public speaking. And then we just had to find communications here. It's already got the credits in there, which is great. And then you just want to put the grade that you received. And then you're going to hit save. Here's one thing that people make a mistake in. Do not uncheck this box. You want it to be transferable. You want credit for the course. Make sure that that box is checked off and then hit save. Okay. And then you're like, oh, but I'm currently taking a class, right? I'm currently taking sociology M01. And then what you would do is you'd find sociology in here. And I don't have a grade yet. Why? Because it's the middle of the semester. Okay. And then you're just going to hit save. And so now I have my in progress and I have classes that I already completed with a grade. Standardized tests, let's talk about that. That's always a fun one. So do we need ACTs or SATs? No. The CSU is never going to ask for an SAT or ACT ever again. But if you did take an SAT or ACT, you're more than welcome to insert it here. Okay. You're going to see IB is on here. AP is on here. You're going to see it says test taken May 18, 2020. You do have to have the exact date that you took the course. Now, you can log in probably into your AP scores under College Board and see what date they were on. There's also, you can just Google it, that sort of thing, and see what date it was offered. But you are going to have to say which date you did take the AP exam on and which date you took the IB exam on. So, you know, it's going to take a little bit more research on your part just to find it, but, you know, make sure you put them all in. And, you know, should I put in the ones that I got a 2 in or a 1 in I didn't pass? Yeah, why not? It's not going to hurt you on admissions, but it does show the university that you did take the exam for the course. Now, the fun part, A through G matching. This is the second part I was talking about earlier, and this is what I recommend every single student does, no matter what. It's going to show how many years I inputted for all my courses. It tells me how many years I need. So right now it's currently showing I only have 1.5 out of 2 years of history. So what happens is this is where people get denied. And if you're applying to like a Long Beach State, a San Diego State, Cal Poly SLO, San Jose State, where you've got, you know, close to 100,000 people applying to the school. And yes, 100,000 people apply to a university. Okay, that is why it's hard to get into San Diego State, because over 100,000 people apply and they had to deny over 75,000 people. That is called the big scary word of impaction. Impaction means a lot of people are applying and only a few people get in. Okay. And one easy way for them to deny a lot of people is on this page. If you do not fill this out correctly, then it's very easy for us to just deny you, because the computer is going to deny you because it's going to say you did not meet the requirement for 2 years of history. You only did 1.5 years. But you're like, no, I did do 2 years. In fact, I did like 3 years. So why isn't it showing up? Okay. And that's what we need to figure out. And how we do that is right down here where it says update A through G courses. If I could have like big confetti right here, a big star, always, always, always press update A through G courses. And so what we're going to do is we're going to go through each of our courses and we're going to make sure that there is a letter corresponding to every single course. And you'll see here that American government, it's only showing us half a year because it's only half a year. My Algebra 2 is showing us a full year. My IB English is showing us a full year. And then just over here, let me zoom out a little bit here. They show you the subjects here so that way you know what you're going to use. So now let's just go down to those ones where we put in like funky ones, like special chemistry, right? So because we typed that in ourselves, there is no A through G here, but I took chemistry. So you are going to put it as a D1 or D2. So most of the time it's D2. So now it's going to be able to tell the application. We come down to my dual enrollment classes. These ones did not. What is public speaking? It's a G. What is sociology? It's a G. It's an elective. Unless it's like a math course or a science or something or a language at the community college, most of them are Gs. And then I hit save and continue at the end here. And yes, take me back to the summary. And now, before it said I only had 17 years, now it says I have 19 years. Okay. Now, I didn't put all my coursework for all 4 years, so that's why I'm still missing things here. But definitely, once you put in all your coursework, this should all fill in. Make sure that you have minimum the 2 years, minimum 4, the minimum years that they want here. And then down here, it's going to calculate your GPA and the total years. All right, let's see if we have any other questions about this before we end this presentation on the last bit of easy things. Okay. Looks like we are all good. Okay. So this is the hardest part, is this part of the application. It takes the most, it's the most time consuming. Supporting information. This is if you want to be in the EOP program at the Cal State. EOP is for first generation low income students. It's either, yes, I want to do it, I want to complete it now. Yes, I will return later to complete this, or no. So I'm just going to put no for right now. And then let me go back to my dashboard. Oh, wait, I pressed no. Let me see here. Oh, here we go. I missed one. And it's going to ask me, was I involved in any of these high school programs? Avid, no. Upward, no. No, I wasn't involved in these programs. Okay. Oh, work information. Yeah, I did have a part-time job over the summer, and I worked, yeah, it was like per week. Yeah, I worked 11 to 15 hours. Okay. Was 25% of my work hours related to my major of choice? Well, it was McDonald's, and I am majoring in business. So yes, absolutely. And then, oh yeah, was I in leadership? Well, you know, I was the captain of the soccer team, and yeah, I do Girl Scouts, and yeah, it's about 6 to 10 hours a week. Actually, if you're playing soccer, it's probably like 21 or more hours. Let's be honest. And did you hold or have you held any leadership positions? Yes, absolutely. Class president over here, save and continue. Okay. And now let's go back to our dashboard. And this is what we're getting to. We want these beautiful green check marks here where it's all green. That means it's completely done. What we want is we want all 4 green check marks. All right. Once all 4 are done, that means we can submit our application. This last part here, this is where the university wants to tell you a little bit about, you know, the program. I signed up for agriculture business. I put it in there. It's telling me my deadline, November 30th. And then it has some questions. Okay. Now, every single Cal State is going to ask this question about housing. And here's the thing. You may have heard that there's a new FAFSA out there in a California Dream Act, and it's coming out in December, which is your financial aid application. In the past, the application had on the question, where do you plan on living? That is no longer on the FAFSA or the California Dream Act. So what we have to do is we have to put that in the application. So just select which option you are going to do with parents off campus, not with family, or on campus. This question is going to the financial aid office at the CSUs that you're applying to, so that the financial aid office can properly give you your financial aid based off of where you're living. Because someone who lives in on-campus housing is going to need money more than someone who lives with their family. So just make sure you answer that question. And then, like I said, you'll get all green check marks. We're going to go to submit the application. Right now, I have 3 applications in. It tells me I owe $210. If I'm getting the fee waiver, it will say 0. And all of these will be bright green check marks when my entire application is done. Now, all the application deadlines, it says November 30th for each one. And if a deadline changes, sometimes it can change, and maybe this changes to, I don't know, December or January, the deadline would change on this page. It would tell you. Okay. So you can always look here to see your deadlines. Some schools and some programs have different deadlines. My rule of thumb, just apply by November 30th and be done with it. That way you're not worried about it. And once you go to the submit button, what it's going to do is, I don't think it's going to show us right now, but it will take you to a page where it thinks you made some mistakes. And if you made a mistake on something, it'll have a link for you to like click back to where they think that you made a mistake at. But one thing I am going to share, and I don't think there's anywhere for me to write it in this webinar. I don't see it. So if you can write this down or make a new contact in your phone or jot it down, Cal State Channel Islands accepts texting. We text students, parents, counselors, teachers, and the number is 805-600-8240. And what I can also do is I think I can just like put it here. The reason why I'm giving you this number is because if you make an error on this application, text us. Text us the screenshot of the error. We will answer it for you. So you can also always email us, admissions@csuci.edu. But the texting is working like a charm. We've been using it now for the past month. We have students that text us about all sorts of things. Financial aid, the application, my parents, this, that, whatever. If we don't have the answer, we will tell you where to get the answer. But most of the time we can pretty much answer your questions. So I definitely highly recommend it. If you text me at midnight, I will not answer till the next day. So, but there are about 10 of us answering that text message. So if it's not me, it's a colleague of mine. But we do want to make sure that we answer your questions. And I had a student that's applying to us in Sacramento State, and we already got back to them for their admissions decision, but they hadn't heard from Sacramento State. So they were asking for our advice and we gave it to them. So, you know, if it just literally, we just want to make sure that you're, you know, doing the right thing and off to the right places that you need to go. So feel free to text us or email us. And we have a few minutes to spare here. So I'm just going to go back through and make sure that I didn't miss a question here. Oh, how do we know what class is letter A through G? That's a great question. If it's English, it's B, you know, like let me go back to that part real quick and I'll show you. Foreign language at a community college will still be a foreign language for the A through G. So it's going to be E. Yes, every Cal State is going to answer the question of, do you live on campus? Because every Cal State has its own financial aid office. So if you applied to 10 Cal States in that quadrant 4, you're going to answer that question 10 times. Because if you apply to Cal State Channel Islands, you might live at home. But if you apply to Sacramento State, you might be living on campus there. So you're going to want to answer that question. You will hear back from the Cal States of whether you're accepted or not, depends on the Cal State. So for Cal State Channel Islands, we are actually doing what's called an on-the-spot admission. So, and Mrs. Cuneo and any of your counselors at your high schools can tell you, if you email me your transcript or you have Mrs. Cuneo email it to me, I will admit you right now and tell you. So you'll learn literally that day, like today. Maybe not today, it's already 6:30. So, but tomorrow. But yeah, other Cal States, though, it can be as late as February, March. Sometimes it's December. It just depends on how quickly we're going through these applications. But definitely ask any of your counselors about an on-the-spot admissions. And if you want one for Cal State Channel Islands, we can absolutely do that. And then I'll go back to the A through G real quick. Yes, once you submit your application, you can apply to more schools. Now, here's the tricky part, though. Once your application is submitted to one CSU, you cannot edit your application. So you can't be like, oh, well, now I decided to add a dual enrollment class. Let me go back and add it. You can't. So make sure you are, before you submit it to one CSU, make sure you have completed it fully. Because after you submit it, you can no longer edit it. But yes, I can apply, you know, to Cal State Northridge this week. I can apply to Cal State Channel Islands next week, and I can apply to Cal Poly Slow the following week. Okay. Oh, yep. And that goes to another. What if I made an error, but 2 more colleges to submit to? Can I change it? Nope. Unfortunately, you cannot change. So what do you do if you make an error? You need to contact the admissions office and let them know that you made an error on your application. Yes, it can hinder and you can be denied. If you are denied to a school and you think that, you know, no, I really, should not be denied, then you can submit an appeal. When the school denies you, they will tell you about an appeals process. Go through the appeals process. Make sure that you give documentation. You provide a reason why the application was wrong. And this is your one chance to tell them why you really want to go to that school. So make a good personal statement about it. But as far as which classes, if, I took Spanish at Moorpark College, that is going to go under language other than English. If I took, medical terminology, that is going to go under elective. If I took photography, that's going to go under visual and performing arts. So it's just going to kind of depend. Oh, there is definitely this one link. Where is it? Shoot, maybe they took the link off of here. Okay. Anyways, if in doubt, just put it as an elective, but if it's an English class, it's English. If it's US history to 1877, then it's a history class. If it's intro to business, that is an elective. Any business course is an elective. And I know we're at time, so do different universities have different application deadlines? That'll be the last question here. Most of them are all November 30th. But yes, CSUN has extended their deadline, I think, to January. And that's for a majority of their programs. But what I would do is just make sure that on the program here, you're looking to see what the deadline is. And you'll see here for Bakersfield, it says November 30th for this agriculture business. So the deadlines are all on here. But if it does change, that's where it will be updated, is here under the deadline. So we're at 6:31. I definitely want to, be kind to your time, and I appreciate you all for being here. Again, feel free to text us. Most of the time I'm answering the text messages, but there's a group of us. And I just thank you, Mrs. Cuneo, for having me. I love to be at Simi Valley Unified any chance I get. And I hope you guys all have a great night.
Thank you all for being here this evening. We really appreciate you coming and taking advantage of our resources. Thank you so much, Brittany, as always. And we will see you guys next time. Have a great evening.
Oh, you're welcome. Have a great evening, everyone.